Check, check, test, 1, 2.
looks like a light switch anyway. They should have this now. Yeah, that says alert. Okay, we will open the arc and then see if this light is on.
Tell me when you're going.
Ready?
Yeah. Beep, beep, beep. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Lights on.
How was your other biopsy?
Oh, it came clear.
No, I don't mean the result. I mean how was it? Like, is it?
He was looking for me under because I had an implant here for sleep apnea, and so he's been for about 6 months. So he didn't even look over 5 hours. It was less than 5 hours. So not pain-free, let's just say. It wasn't
Like you weren't jumping all out of your
No,
skin, but it wasn't.
when she
Shabbat Shalom. Before we begin our service, I just wanted to remind everybody that to please keep your masks on over your nose and mouth, that the numbers are rising and we want to keep everybody safe. However, if you are at the bima, at the reading stand, and you have a speaking part, to please take your mask off so we can see your beautiful face and so that the microphone can, of course, pick up any reading part that you have. So, and of course, when you're finished doing your reading part, please put your mask back on and go sit down. And so we come now to Shabbat, a time of joy, of rest, and of peace. This is the first week in the Hebrew month of Elul. So we have many firsts tonight. It is our first indoor service with Rabbi Weiner. Rabbi Weiner has only conducted an outdoor service for our congregation, so we're indoors now. Everything's different and changed. There might be some speed bumps. We'll roll with it. We'll be gentle and gracious, just reminding everyone. And another first. We have our first bat mitzvah of the summer tomorrow. So we will be honoring Julia tonight. Very exciting. And so we begin our service with the singing of Lecha Dodi, which can be found in our prayer book on page, see, it's a first. I haven't done Lecha Dodi in so long. On page 20. And when we get to the final stanza of Lecha Dodi, we will rise and face the rear of the sanctuary as if we are ceremonially welcoming the Sabbath bride into our midst. In times past, sometimes people come late to the service, and we are all standing facing the door as if we are watching them be late. Let's hope that doesn't happen tonight.
Lecha Dodi, Likat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Mikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Mikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Yishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, Shem u'tiferet le'tilah. Lecha Dodi, Likat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Mikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Mikabela. Oi v'shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam b'simcha uv'tzola, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala, Boi chala. Lecha Dodi, Likat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Mikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Mikabela.
It is my pleasure to invite to the bima at this time to sanctify our Shabbat candles, Lydia and Nora Shinsky.
Asher Kedeshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Shabbat.
Amen. We continue in our prayer book on page 28 with Baruch Hu. Will the congregation please rise? Please be seated. It is my pleasure to invite to the Bima at this time to lead us in Ma'ariv Aravim, which can be found in our Sidurim in our prayer book on page 30, Julia Shinsky.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteah she'arim, uvitvuna mishaneh itim, umahalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakohavim, b'mishmarotehem bara'akia kirtzono, b'rei yom v'layla, goler or mifnei hosha, hosha mifnei or, umahavir yom umevi layla, Umavdil bein yom umevi laila Adonai tzivaot shemo. El hai v'kayam tamid yimlo aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Please turn to page 232. Yes, sorry, just 32, not 232. My bad. Everlasting love. You offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
You know she's my kid, right? Because she wants to advance the service rapidly. We continue with Shema, which can be found on page 34 and 35. Will the congregation please rise?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We continue on page 36 with Via Hafta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue. On the bottom of page 39, let's read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare, may earth reveal. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. We continue on page 40 with Mi Chamocha. We continue on the top of page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom, Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue on the top of page 44 with the singing of Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ולברית עולם.
We continue now with the Amidah, beginning on page 46 and continuing through page 52. Will the congregation please rise?
Adonai sefatai tiftachu pi agitehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftachu pi agitehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh ha'akol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, U'mevi geula lifnei b'neihem, Leman shemo be'ahava, Melech ozer Moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechayeh metim atah rav lehoshia, morid hatal. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidom melach, melech memid umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'hachayot metim. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We continue now at the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue now on page 58. Modim anachnu lach, shatahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu le'olam va'ed. Tzur chayenu magen yishenu atahu lidor vador. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We continue now on page 60 with the words of Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
We continue now with a few moments of silent reflection or meditation using either the words of the pages in front of us or the words of our hearts.
Yaseh shalom, shalom imromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Israel ve'imru amen.
We continue with our Torah service beginning on page 244. Please rise.
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, olam omer. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, olam omer. HaTorah le'al havodah, le'al gemilut chasadim. HaTorah le'al havodah, le'al gemilut chasadim.
Please be seated. We are, as I'm opening this to make sure we're in the right section of Torah, Shoftim v'Shotrim, there we go, okay. We are in the Torah portion of Shoftim, which we will hear beautifully read by our bat mitzvah tomorrow morning. And Shoftim is all about judges. It's about judges, it's about ensuring that we don't take bribes. This is beautiful. Ensuring that we don't bribe judges. It's about ensuring that our judges remain impartial. And a separate part of this Torah portion then is also about cities of refuge. City of refuge is a place where if you are convicted of particular crimes, you can go there as a safe haven, as a place to remain safe even after having been convicted of those crimes. And I think Rabbi Koznowski is going to speak on that in a little bit, so I don't want to ruin too much of what she is going to say. But that is just a little preview about the Torah portion. We will also hear a little bit more about it tomorrow morning from Julia as well. So for our Aliyah this evening, we are going to invite up our truly amazing summer intern, Ryan Stokes, who is leaving us, and we are so sad about that, but for great reasons, going back to school. So we're going to invite up Ryan for our Aliyah. Ya'amod Reuven Shmuel ben Neraya ve'Leba Tzipora le'Aliyah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'na'atan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Amen. Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha b'chol sha'arecha, asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha lishvaticha v'shaftu et ha'am mishpat, tzedek v'lo titen mishpat, lo takir panim v'lo tikach shochad, ki hashochad ya'aver einei hachamim, v'yisalef divrei tzadikim. Tzedek tzedek tirdov, leman tichye v'yarashta et haaretz, asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And now, while we have the Torah out in our midst, we take a moment to think about those who are in need of healing. And so our thoughts turn to those in our community and our families who are ill and are in need of healing of mind and body and spirit. And this evening, we think of Elwood Frederick Bryan, Carol Niemark, Stefano Michelasi, Sonia Miller, Alan Wolski, Linda Babcock, Gary Tatiner, Aaron Gentile, Denise Blackburn, Sheila Alterman, Larry Niemark, Barbara Gwynn, James Berger, Mario Martinez Fernandez, Sarah Warch, Joan Katz, Lori Norberg, and all those who suffer, whom we know not by name. Mishaberach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yakov, v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah, hu yivarech v'yirapeh et kol cholei Yisrael, v'yishlach lachem b'mhera refuah shlema, refuat hanefesh u'refuat haguf, v'nomar. Amen. We continue now with the words of Mishaberach, which can be found on page 253.
Mishaberach avotenu mikor abraham leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor abraham lamotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
In pre-COVID times, we used to have a prayer book passing ceremony where one student from the 8th grade would pass the prayer book to the 6th grader, who would share the same Torah, having his or her B'nai Mitzvah portion the next day, and they'd share in the blessing. However, we are still going through some COVID protocols, so our schedules have been disrupted. Many families have postponed B'nai Mitzvah ceremonies, and to be safe, several students had their prayer books mailed to them for this past school year. But we still wanted to mark this special occasion because in one short year, Mimi and Vivian will be called to the Torah to become B'nai Mitzvah. So we are catching up with our prayer book passing. It is my pleasure at this time to invite to the Bima Julia Shinsky, Vivian Rosenberg, and Mimi Simon.
So Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, and all of your Torah portions are going to be in the book of Deuteronomy next year. It's about the process of Moses imparting his wisdom to the Israelites. And just as tomorrow, Julia will impart her wisdom to all of us and give her speech about Shoftim. In one short year, you will both be imparting your wisdom about your Torah portion. So, Joanna is going to pass this prayer book to Mimi, and ceremonially pass it to Vivian, who already received it in the mail. Right? Did you get yours? You got it? Good. Good for you. Okay.
And we give you this heads up. You are a year away from this very special life event. You will have to learn a lot and come to a lot of services, but it will really be well worth it. Because you too will stand here in a year, or when it's your time, and you will pass along a real prayer book to the sixth grader who will share your Torah portion with you.
And so I want to take a moment of true beauty. And I'm going to have you ladies step up to the reading stand. I'm going to have you remove your face masks for one moment. I'm going to ask the nice person who's controlling the video camera from wherever you are in this country to please zoom in to these beautiful faces. And I'm going to tell you that if anyone has also had Shoftim as his or her or their Torah portion, please feel free to come up to the Bima to be acknowledged. Nobody remembers if that was your Torah portion? Fine, okay. And now I am going to confer the priestly blessing to these wonderful ladies, and I ask the entire congregation to please rise. Go ahead and put your masks back on. Good girls, thank you. Yiverechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha, v'yikuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's countenance be kind and gracious unto you. May God's face be lifted up unto you and grant you the most precious gift of peace. And we say together, Amen. You can go back to your seats. And while we're still standing, great job, we call our Hagba and Golelet. Ya'amod Michael ben Aharon Halevi Hagba, Ta'amod Chavabat David Shaul Golelet.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe.
And we're going to invite up now our readers who are going to read for us our prayer for America and prayer for Israel, Mark Shinsky and Nora Shinsky. Please be seated. On page 258.
Prayer for our country. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks to what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Help us to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we serve you. Bless our country, that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders. health, and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow ever home and every heart. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. Amen.
The prayer of Israel. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Please rise as we now return to the Torah to the Ark, and we turn to page 256.
It's Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomchecha meushar tirachecha darcheno am v'chol netivotecha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Kadesh Yameinu Kadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Please be seated.
So, as Rabbi Weiner expressed earlier, our Torah portion contains so many different components to it. We have tzedek, tzedek tirdof, justice you shall pursue. And then it goes on to talk about the Ir HaMiklat, the cities of refuge. It's repeated. And this is a place for accidental murderers to come and be safe until their court cases can be heard. But this is what's so cool. You'd think that in these cities of refuge, all that would live there would be the Levites, who would be taking care of the city and taking care of the inhabitants. But what's fascinating is that there was another group who have said to have lived in these Irei Miklat, these cities of refuge. You know what they were? Crickets. Is it in? It's an in. It might be. You all hear the cricket? Yeah. I just thought we would acknowledge the cricket in the room. But it's an interesting sound. Just, I'm thinking it's liking my sermon so far. There were rabbis in these cities. The Talmud explains that any individual who fled to a city of refuge had to take not his doctor, not his lawyer, not his pharmacist, his rabbi. And so, when we look at this law, we understand why was it that the person who was going to court had to have his rabbi with him. And the rabbis explain that it was because rabbis teach Torah. And Torah is the essence of life. That when God was beginning to create the world, God consulted Torah as the blueprint. Rava, a rabbi, taught that when we come to judgment in the world to come, we will be asked the next questions. Did you conduct your business honestly? Did you set a time every day for Torah study? Did you leave a legacy for future generations? Did you have hope in your heart? Did you have straight priorities? Did you enjoy what our world had to offer? And were you the best person that you could be? Tomorrow, Our fabulous summer intern, Ryan Stokes, is going to go back to college. For the past 10 weeks, Ryan came to work with us and having an internship. And I would say that Ryan was an integral part of our synagogue office. Next week, when you receive these wonderful bulletins in the mail describing all of the offerings that we have for high holiday services, you will know the effect that Ryan had in our office. So, Ryan, I'm going to ask you to come to the ark for a blessing. You can leave your mask on. I mean,
Okay.
we know how gorgeous you are. Well, take it off for 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now you put it back on. God, may Ryan be granted insight to get to know themselves, to study Torah, and have wisdom to know you, God. May you continue to direct Ryan's steps and guide his life with peace and lead him into an ever more fulfilling life. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, Master of the universe, who makes the young responsible for their own lives. And let us say, Amen. Ryan, thank you for being so wonderful, for giving all of us at our community, at Congregation Etz Chaim, your wonderful gifts and talents. We are truly grateful. I told Ryan that he has to come back next summer, so we know what he's doing next summer, just saying, because really you helped us so much, and we valued your contribution and all that you did for us. And so at this time, we are going to continue with the singing of Tefillat HaDerech, wishing Ryan blessings as he goes on his way.
The text for this blessing can be found on page 345 in your prayer book. May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. May you be blessed
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Mimi Paul Burnett, and I'm representing the Board of Directors tonight. I want to thank everyone who has joined us for tonight's Shabbat service. Just a few announcements. On Tuesday, August 24th, from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., Robbie Kozlowski will be teaching for all who are interested how to prepare for the high holidays. She will focus on holiday ideas and concepts to better understand the nature of the days of awe. You will learn practical and spiritual ideas to make the season more meaningful and relevant to our modern lives. This class will be held on Zoom. If you haven't already, please mark your calendars for Saturday, August 28th for our annual, except for last year, Sleek Coat Palooza. This fun event, open to all ages, will begin at 5 p.m. with free food, a bubble maker, a scotch and wine tasting, a professional obstacle course, and so much more. Our traditional Sleek Coat services will start at 7:30 p.m. Rosh Hashanah begins on Monday night, September 6th. All our services will be streamed. However, if you plan to attend in person, you must register. You can do this from the website High Holiday section. Lastly, the Social Action Committee is asking our help to help the victims of Surfside tragedy in Florida. Our lobby Tzedakah box is set up for the donations, or you can donate online through our donation page on our website. Tonight's to-go neg bags are sponsored by the Shinsky family in honor of Julia becoming a bat mitzvah tomorrow morning. Mazel tov. We want to wish Ryan good luck as he packs up and heads back to his junior year of college. Thank you for spending your summer here as our intern. Thank you for the rabbis leading our service, to Cindy Michaleski for our music, to Ed Levy for ushering, and Rachel Wood for being our greeter tonight. Next Friday, August 20th, Shabbat services will begin at 7:30 and will take place in our sanctuary. We will officially be dedicating and renaming our sanctuary in honor of Edie Bernstein of blessed memory. Shabbat Shalom.
It is my pleasure to invite to the Bima at this time to, as we prepare to begin our concluding prayers, Grace Brown and Owen Brown. They're not here. Well, I need Mimi, Simon, and Vivian, and let's have a Caitlin. Who else? What other kids do I see? Do I see any kids? Oh, of course. Yes, come on up. We need all pre-B'nai Mitzvah students. Come on up. We're gonna open the ark together. Okay, Scott, thank you. All right, and Nora, of course, come up. Yes, this is a moment of cuteness. Another moment. Go stand at the ark. Take your masks off for one short moment so we can get a great shot of this. Right? For 1 minute. Okay, masks back. Very good. Would everyone please rise for Aleinu on page 282. Go ahead and open the ark, please.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated. We continue on the top of page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others, May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Let's read together. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
V'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom ha'u yeh Adonai echad u'shemo
We continue on the bottom of page 291. There are stars up above, so far away, we only see their light long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. We recall with love those whose Yortzeit we commemorate this Shabbat. We remember Joseph Schmitz, father of Ellen Gossage, Harry Simpson, father of Harvey Simpson, Marilyn Cohen, mother of Barbara Fidlow, Esther Frankfeder, mother of Alan Frankfeder, Eva Redsky, grandmother of Joanne Gallagher, Lee Alterman, grandmother of Andrea Alterman Lax, Bernice Finkel, mother of Stephen Finkel, Seal Goldman, grandmother of Julie Mandrew, Marjorie S. McGrath, mother of Margaret McGrath, Nathan Krasno, father of Eugene Krasno, Abraham Rubenstein, grandfather of Merle Ehrlich, Dora Weinstein, grandmother of Craig Mandel, Irene Farr, mother of Gail Farr, Daniel Schoenberg, husband of Susan Schoenberg, father and father-in-law of Max and Tracy Schoenberg, grandfather of Stanley and Calvin Schoenberg, Sorella Hirsch, mother of Bonnie Warner, Cynthia Verzi, sister-in-law of Maureen Headington, Joseph Friedman, father of Susan Leftwich, Jean Hirsch, grandmother of Wendy Peck and Deborah Cox, Elliot Zeidel, father of Jeff Zeidel, Joseph Mash, father of Stephen Mash, and Gertrude Becker, mother of Mark Becker. We also mourn the recent passing of Marcia Kirschenbaum, cousin of Carol Nymark. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as together we recite Kaddish Yatom, which can be found in our prayer book on page 294. Will the congregation please rise? Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalal uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Ve'imru amen. Ve'imru amen. Ve'imru amen. Ve'imru amen.
We remain standing for our closing song, which tonight can be found on page 344, Shir Chadash. On this holy Shabbat, may we always remember to pursue justice, to be people of refuge for one another. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, and worth and meaning in the study of Torah. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near in life, in peace, and in joy. Shabbat Shalom.